And good morning, people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. And yo, do I got a great show for you this morning. Grab your coffee. Well, for today's show, you might want something a little stronger. I got Jersey J in the building with me, my brother from another mother. Um, all of
Everyone.
you out there, y'all already know who Jersey is. Y'all probably knew who he was way before y'all knew who I was. But what up, Jersey J? What's good with you, brother?
um, I don't know, man. I've been back in Jersey. We came back from Florida. Hung out with my son a lot since I've been back. Working, grinding, dude. I haven't really been posting or doing too much lives because like so much crazy drama and bullshit out there in the world. Um, I don't know what to keep up with. Like I've been watching the weather. I've been watching this crazy forest fire that spawned out of nowhere in Canada. Um, what else? Yeah, there's just a couple things I've really been paying attention to because I don't have time to get into the YouTube world anymore, like to watch the crazy drama and who's talking about who. So I really just been focusing on like what's going on. Ukraine war is blowing my mind how the United States hasn't come out and says we are fighting this war in Ukraine and using Ukrainian soldiers. Like, how do you not say that? Like, if it wasn't for our weaponry and our funding, they'd be in the dirt right now.
It wouldn't be no war.
Russia just boom, 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 done. Take it over. But
But
we are making sure that Russia can't take over, which is essentially making us part of that war, proxy war. It's just insane, man. And like our people over here are like, oh yeah, support Ukraine. It's like you guys have no fucking idea what you're doing.
bro, they don't even have any clue what they're doing here at home, bro.
No,
I
we're
mean,
taking. Yeah, go ahead.
bro, we're taking it with no Vaseline, and bro, they know it. The American people know it, and that's one of the things, Jersey, that I got, man, since day one, since I met you. People
Yep.
can call you crazy. They can call you crazy. They can call whatever they want to call you, bro. But one thing I know, man, you'll die for this country, bro. And
Fuck
it's a
yeah.
damn shame that they putting people like you and myself and other patriots in the position where we might have to take matters into our own hands because it looks like nothing.
Right there. That's what that Second Amendment's for, bro, to protect our country from tyranny. And this is tyrannical government, bro. This is no matter how you slice it. When the American people are screaming like one thing, and the government goes, "What's that? What's that? There's no money there. I can't do that.
Hey,
No, we're gonna
talk
do that.
talk to the people for a minute. I'll be right back. Talk to the people for a minute.
You got it, man." I don't know. My problem most of guys out there is the war right now and how we're basically funding a war, and we're not using our soldiers to get killed this time, so it's not a problem. And, we're using Ukrainians to die instead, and these guys are using our weaponry and our funding to fight a war with Russia. I just don't understand the significance of spending all that money to send over to Ukraine when for a quarter of that money we could fix a lot of problems in this country. But I'm gonna wait for Ray to get back for that one because I don't know. I think it's crazy, crazy. I think it's 100 and something billion dollars. Who do we got up there? Let's see. I can't see chat.
Okay, I'm back. You see, I had to
Yeah,
get in
there
battle.
you go,
I had to
motherfucker.
I had to get in battle gear, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I keep my
See, it
shit
was
right there. But I was just saying, man, I was talking to people about like the funding that we're sending to Ukraine for like a quarter or a third of it, man. We could fix so many problems in this country. Like, I don't understand why we're using all that. Like, what makes matters even worse in my head is the fact that we left all that equipment in Afghanistan when we could have just been like, hey, Ukrainians, come take the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, come get it. Like, it's right here.
Because where did all that shit go?
Um, Afghanistan's using it, man. The Taliban's using that stuff to control the cities. I
But
mean, you
what
got to
about
think. They're like, we destroyed the vehicles. It's like, yeah, you could destroy all the vehicles you want. They're gonna figure a way to drive that armored car down the street, even if they got to put pedals in it. They're gonna figure it out because you're talking about a bunch of cave dwelling fucking idiots, right? Who aren't idiots, who were able to hijack planes and destroy our country on 9/11, right? They're not that fucking stupid. So we're saying they're cave dwelling morons who live in the desert, and they're able to take all the junk that we leave there and make something out of it every fucking time. So even if they can't fly the helicopter up in the air, they'll put it on the back of the flatbed and use it to shoot missiles out the back of it. Like, they're gonna figure out a way to do something. So I don't know. We dropped the ball on that one big time.
well? What do you think about them indicting Trump again, bro? With all the bullshit with Biden going on, and isn't it isn't it just crazy how they indict him on the same day they drop all of the fucking information
Yeah,
on him?
yep. Because they want to distract you. They want to distract everybody. Like Trump's right now. Trump's in Bedminster right now, like 40 minutes from where I'm at.
Oh,
Like,
for real?
yeah, I had the opportunity to go there last week, last weekend, I think. I went fishing on a golf course, bro. I've never been fishing on a golf course in my entire life. Like, I used to go by golf courses and be like, oh man, that pond's got to have huge bass in it. But you never get access, you know? I
Right.
was invited to Trump's golf course to go fishing. Like, Biden never invited me to his house to go fishing. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, at the least, this man is nice enough to let the public in there to do access like that sometimes. And it's like, people try to make him out to be a bad guy. He's not. He's just a really smart guy. And he's trying to show the government that if you don't want him to do these tax things and stuff like that, then change the tax law, but they won't because it puts money in their pocket. So, like, he's basically showing the world, like, this is how it works. I'm doing it. I'm free. Like, I can capitalize on anything because they let me. You know what I'm saying? So they're
The
idiots.
man know how to make money, man. The man know how to make money, and if he can make money for himself, why don't they let him make money for us? Why don't the American people just wake the fuck up
I
and
don't,
realize what the hell's going on?
I
And
don't know.
it is we did our job, boy. When I met you at Hagerstown, our thing was bringing awareness to the. It wasn't so much trying to fucking and solve the problem. It was just more about bringing awareness and shit
Yeah,
like that. But
like
damn,
this many
everybody knows
people.
what's going on.
Yeah, it was showing like you aren't alone. Like everyone here is all pissed off about this. Like, and if it continues and continues, more people are going to get pissed off. More people will join. It wasn't far after that the mandates ended. Like it wasn't very far after that they ended. You know what I'm saying? Like the mask mandates, all that stuff. And like you can actually get away with saying those words now sometimes. You know, like
But see, this is the thing.
yeah,
Where is something that big now? See, they picked the wrong time.
yeah,
They picked the wrong time. Now that we are in the midst of it all, where everybody knows what's going on,
yeah,
how come something that huge isn't taking place now? You was at Hagerstown, brother. Have
yeah,
you seen anything to that magnitude take place? I mean, I'm not talking about rally. This wasn't a rally.
yeah,
This was a damn a
yeah,
neighborhood. This was a city that was there for a minute, and
yeah.
nothing has ever been like that again, bro.
No,
And this
and
is the time we need it.
what's sad is that Americans are, well, not all Americans. It's just what the media wants you to see, and it's just what they want you to talk about. But it's mainly just they're trying to like distract you with these the transgender LGBTQ community. Like, I'm not a dickhead, all right. There's gay people I know, with friends, things like that, have customers. I'm not. I don't need to be a part of the community. I don't of that community. I don't need to know any more information about it. I don't need to have every commercial, every TV show, every news broadcast, everything you watch on TV right now. There will be an ad or there will be some kind of mention of that community. Every 10 minutes, let's say.
Every show. I
Every
mean, not
goddamn
saying people,
show.
they got the right to do
Yeah,
what they want to do, but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's being done deliberately.
It's deliberate. It's deliberate, and it's being thrown in our face to force us to try to accept it. It's almost like saying it's going to turn old school folk against the new school. So, like the old school community that is like, no, it's against my religion. I don't agree with it. I wasn't brought up that way. I don't need to know about it. Don't make my kid that way. You know what I'm saying? That community that is still old school is going to have a kid that's 30 years old and they're going to say, well, my kid's transgender at 5 years old, and the grandmother's going to flip out, and they're not going to talk to the daughter anymore. Now you just separated that family over a fucking conversation that no one needs to even have in a straight family. No one needs to even be talking about it, but they're forcing us to talk about it. They're forcing us to accept it. They're forcing us to deal with it, and it's almost like they have some privilege now. So you can be in that community, say and do whatever you want, and not get in any kind of trouble because you could just blame it on they did that because I'm gay or they did that because I'm trans or whatever. They could say whatever they want and be like they don't like me because they're against the LGBTQ community. It's like it's not. You're just an asshole. You're acting like an asshole. You can act any way you want. That's cool, but you don't get to be entitled in public. You don't get to have special privileges because you're part of a group. Because if
That's
that's the
right.
case, then I'm going to start a fucking straight month, and we're going to do a straight month instead of a LGBTQ gay month, gay pride month. We're going to do a fucking straight month. Why can't we do a straight month?
Well,
You know
you
what I'm
haven't,
saying?
you said you haven't been on social media in a while. I know
Yeah,
you remember Steve. I know you remember Steve with the horn and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Well, he's been up in DC
yeah.
for as long as I can remember. And his last couple of videos, he's been going to all of these government buildings with dude. They got the pride flag as the second flag now
Huh.
on these government buildings, bro.
Why? What does it
On
have
the
to do with
Ronald
the
Reagan
government?
Library building. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, on the education building. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, right under the American flag. Why not put the men not
POW.
forgotten,
Yeah.
the
POW
MIA
flag.
flag under it?
Anything other than a a community based on just being a sexual orientation. That's what that's based on. Like there's no justification on saying like these people died for our country, so let's fly their flag. These people defended our country, let's fly their flag. Like if you're an ally of us and you're currently in a war, I could see flying your flag with our
Dude,
flag or something. Or,
am I gonna wake up tomorrow and find a BLM flag under the freaking American flag?
see,
I mean, really?
and they're getting killed too. They just turned in their taxes. Did you see what they did?
Dude,
80, 80
dude, dude,
million, 80
dude.
million. Bro.
We told him from the beginning when we found out that that chick was buying up houses left and right,
Yeah,
like she just, uh, bruh, it was a scam. But you know
yeah,
what, Jersey? You know what? At the end of the day, who do the people have to blame? Who do the people? At the end of the day, who do the people have to really blame, Jersey?
exactly. Ourselves. We let it happen.
Exactly,
We let it happen,
exactly,
dude. When they were in the
exactly.
streets burning the shit down, where were the Patriots going out there and taking that shit back? Nobody want to get in
And
trouble?
and when we tried,
And when you try,
we
you
were
get fucked. Yeah,
yeah, we had
yeah.
resistance, and now the same people that resisted us are wanting us back out there in the fight, but they're not willing to get back out there with us.
No, no, because
They
everybody's
won't
scared of the
resist us no
station.
more
Yeah,
because they need
everybody.
a fighter.
They're scared of getting J6. That's what they're scared of. And they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be, because that whole thing was a setup. That was a setup to get people in trouble so they can make an example of patriots and American flag waving people. Anyone who supported not just MAGA or Trump, but the country getting better, make America great again, was the theory. You know what I'm saying? He just said it.
So that just goes to show how many people in America. See, I'm a veteran, so I'm built to fight for my country. Because when I raised my hand, it made me swear to defend my country against all enemies,
Yep.
foreign and
Foreign and
domestic.
domestic.
I knew what the meaning of domestic was.
Yep.
I never thought it would actually.
Never thought it'd be a thing.
I never
No
thought
doubt.
it'd be a thing.
No,
I
in
always
my
thought
mind,
foreign.
yeah,
I always
foreign
thought foreign. Okay,
invasion.
foreign, cool. Why
If we
did
got
they
to,
ever put
yeah,
that word domestic in there? Now I see.
now you know.
So I got to come out of retirement
Shit, the only thing to do,
again
bro.
to fight against enemies domestic.
And this is our voice right now. Our voice is our weapon. That's all we got
Yeah,
right now.
and they're
Because,
scared of that. They're scared of that.
oh yeah, dude, I'm being shadow banned like crazy. My analytics, I'm looking at my analytics for like a week, right? I just looked through it. It was like, whatever, 1,000 views on this today. And then it goes, 800 views, then like, 2 days later, 0 views on my channel in 2 days. No, it was, yeah, it was 2 days of 0 views on anything on my channel. So I contact support and I go, what the fuck is going on? And I get back from support that I posted an inappropriate comment, and they told me the comment. I put, fuck Joe Biden. He's an old piece of shit who needs to die. That was my comment, right? Well,
Right.
apparently, if you do that, they'll just shut your channel down. They won't demonetize you. They won't give you a strike. They'll just shadow ban the shit out of you, so you can't fucking say nothing, or you can't get views or nothing anymore. So after saying like I would litigate, I'm going to get a civil rights attorney because you're blocking my freedom of speech, and my freedom of press. All of a sudden now my channel gets all my views back. Now today I'm getting my analytics back, and now I have 800 on this, and I can see this, and my revenue is going up and this and that. But until I said something to them, they were just going to keep fucking doing it to you, because you don't know. Like, if people don't look into things and they don't research for themselves, they just believe whatever the fuck is in front of them, and they're like, oh well, this must be normal because it's happening, and they must be allowed to do it because they're doing it. No, motherfucker, they're doing it because you don't say nothing. Like when the person cuts you off in traffic, and then he cuts the next guy off in traffic, cuts the next guy off in traffic, cuts the next guy in traffic, and eventually causes an accident. Why? Because the 10 people he cut off never called it in, because their day's too fucking busy to get involved, because they don't want to get involved, whatever the case may be. But that's the case, is everyone's in their own little fucking bubble now because it's safer, and no one wants to get involved with anybody else's shit because they don't want to get attacked on the road, because it ain't like it was, man. Like, it ain't like it was 20, 30 years ago where you could be like, fuck
But you was just saying you didn't even know if it was safe to leave Jersey.
yeah. I mean, like, I don't know what's going on foreign wise. You know what I'm saying? And if
That's
we
right.
get
Right.
involved in a war, what's going to happen is our government is going to use that opportunity of that threat of them coming here to keep us contained again. They're going to stop flights out, because during war, you can't go to a fucking other country to go on vacation, especially if you have
Right.
NATO involved. When you've got all these other countries and they're allied countries, you got to worry about flying a ship over the ocean, because fucking Russian sub could take that bitch out in 2 seconds. Boom. Commercial airliner. They're in a war. It don't
Yeah.
matter at that point. They don't care about war crimes, obviously. So like people at home here in America think that when you're at war, they play by the rules because there's a Geneva Convention and there's war crimes and things like that. But there's countries that just don't give a fuck. Russia's one of them. Russia's one of those countries that will sabotage a nuclear plant on the east coast of America, or whatever, and they'll sabotage it, make our own nuclear plant implode and cause a Chernobyl over here. And they'll never have to drop a bomb. That's how easy it is. They just blew up a dam in Ukraine that's flooding the rest of fucking Belarus, all these other places downriver. And they know what they're doing. It's strategic. They're going to make a big move right now because Ukrainian forces can't move across that land. So they're going to make a big move, Russia, soon. And like when they do, dude, and we both get in trouble, like because the U.S. is getting dragged into whatever the fuck happens. So if
Mama Mona, I'm about to send you a link, Mama Mona.
Mona's here, but the U.S. is getting dragged into whatever happens because we funded this whole war. We're the reason why they have their missile systems that they have and the ammunition and the gear. They're running around with United States fatigues on, bro. Like I could run over there right now with all the shit I got, jump in the war and just start fighting with them. But I don't make money. I don't help nobody because I'm not fighting a war for anybody. The Ukrainians don't want a war. Nobody wants this war. What happened? Where'd he go? You in there? I still have paint on me after using goof off and showering. I still have this paint. I'll tell you, it's good paint, man. It's Benjamin Moore, guys, if you're going to use some paint. There
He
he is.
said Benjamin Moore.
I still, it's still
Mama,
on me, man. I still got paint all over me.
Mama Mona, I'm coming. I know
Oh,
let me see.
I'm getting, where'd he go? Keeps disappearing on me. Anyway, I don't know who's all out there in the YouTube world because I can't see anything.
Oh,
And my hat, why does my hat look sideways always?
all right,
Do I have a
Mona. I
lopsided
got you
head?
in there. It's Saturday. What's the weather like? What's the weather like today in Jersey, man?
It is absolutely gorgeous. I might take you for a walk in a second. I'm at my buddy's house and my buddy's had these plans to redo his entire backyard since he was a kid. He wanted a koi pond, he wanted a rooftop like, observatory for the pond. He wanted a bar by the pool, he wanted a dirt bike track, and he wants a farm. So I've been tasked with building all of it. So we literally he cleared out probably 15, 20 huge trees back here. We're just getting finished up cutting those up. The koi pond's being dug out. The dirt bike track's all ripping and running. And the farm's got to get done last because we need the soil and stump grinders and shit. But yeah, we're building the bar. I got the bar framed up and stuff. So that's in the backyard. I've been doing that in between painting.
Right.
And yeah, I try to help him out, man. He's been helping us out. So I figure I help him out. His family's awesome. I've known my buddy here. He's one of my best friends. He's gonna come out soon. I don't know where he is,
Oh,
but
Mama Mona, I sent the link in Messenger. Mama Mona's like, "Where's the link?" I sent it in Messenger.
Mona's great.
Well, if I know anything about you, you're the first person that showed me how to make a shower out of a battery, some PVC pipe. What was it? You use a
Cooler.
solar panel. Hey,
Dude, I had
so
running water. I had running water in the middle of a parking lot, dude. So I had everything I needed. I was the only guy that showed up with everything. I didn't have a camper. I had a Honda Civic, but we had a toilet, we had water, we had cooking, we had a huge tent. I had everything, the luxuries that you're supposed to have when you go,
right.
to somewhere. I didn't know what I was in for, man. I showed up. Me and Jen got into this because the Canadian Ottawa thing pissed us off. Well, pissed me off, and she
Hmm.
saw my passion. Her and her mom, they saw my passion for like what was going on, and her mom's like, "Oh, you should go to this flag waving thing." Hey, Mona.
Hey, baby, I
Hey,
miss
Mama.
you. I miss you.
I know I haven't been on.
Hello,
We got to
How
get
are
back.
you,
Mr.
Mona?
Ray.
Good
We're getting
morning.
back to freedom fighting. Ugh.
I hope
Yeah, this is
Yep.
getting ridiculous, Mama Mona. What do you think about the indictment of Trump, man, with all this stuff going on the other side?
they are so scared of that man.
Yep.
They know that man will have their heads when he takes office in 2024, and they're scared out of their ever loving skin.
Yeah, James Comey even said it. He said, "Do you know what another 4 years of Trump will be like? It would be nothing but 4 years of retribution." Now, people don't seem to stop and catch on to things, but he was exactly right. Retribution, that's payback. And only a guilty person can be retributed against.
I'll tell you,
So
the Democrats are going to suffer bad, man. When if he gets back in, he's going to change everything to where they're miserable. He's going to make every one of them miserable.
bro,
Listen.
I really
What's
believe
what's
we
Nancy
haven't even.
Pelosi's what's Nancy Pelosi's expiration date? That's got to be coming soon, right? Like she's got to fall down one day and just not get back up.
They're all getting
She's like
ready to fall down.
walking skeletons, dude, in our government. Walking skeletons. They're barely alive, these people. You're talking 80-year-old people in our government running our government. They have no idea what's going on. You ask them to explain AI, and they'll be like, "What do you mean? What's AI? Is that a racist group?" Like they're not gonna know what's going on, dude. They have no clue. Biden doesn't even know which way to go on a stage anymore. Can't keep his feet up underneath him, man. He keeps falling down. You tell me
Feinstein can't even speak. Vetterman has no brain left. Yeah, I mean, come on, people. Isn't it about time we put some young folks that have a little bit of moxie in some of these offices? I want term limits so bad. Term limits is the key. Let's put term limits on Congress, and those people who've had more than 2 terms are out. Can't run. Gone.
Listen, be a consultant. Be a consultant. You know what I'm saying? Like, be on a board, be on something, but you can't hold that position forever. That's like a monopoly in the economic field of things. Like, you're running that aspect of that thing for 10, 20, 30 years.
They are consultants. Hillary Clinton's still a consultant. Barack Obama's still a consultant. They're they're consulting their asses off.
They're in the background making, helping make moves.
Well, yeah, because Biden can't think, so they got to have somebody do the thinking.
I really, I just never thought I'd live to see the day when American people
had to turn up.
I can't even say, seems stupid. I mean, would you let this stuff take place in your household? Would you? I mean, well, there are some dysfunctional households, so I mean, but this is dysfunctional stuff at the highest level, and Americans are just walking around still shopping at Walmart. Like,
well, you brought it up. The dysfunction in the home, man. That's where it starts. Is they're making us stupid over the generations. So the more generations that go on, the more stupid information they're pumping into us and being distracted with, and the less good and less good shit. Like, they're not teaching the Constitution in the schools anymore. And if they do, it's a one day. Let's breeze through these amendments, and tomorrow we're gonna have a test, and then that's it. These kids aren't remembering this shit. They're not remembering why this country even exists right now. They're breezing through this shit. And then you know what they want to do? They're making the parents and the kids focus on gender. Why? When I was in school, dude, it didn't matter what you called yourself. Call yourself gay, straight. You can call yourself a fucking turtle. Who cares? They're going to make fun of you because you want to be different. And I told my son, I said, listen, if you want to do something, you want to have crazy hair, you want to act a certain way, you want to be different, expect to be picked on. And then if you want to be different in society, you have to be tougher. You can't be this Nancy pants where people make fun of you and you get offended. Walk the fuck around the way you want to walk around. If somebody says something, keep walking. You don't need to engage. You don't need to prove your point on why you're allowed to wear that or do what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep it moving. Don't make a fucking show of it.
You know what I found out in life? No matter what you do, you're gonna get people that's gonna love you, and you're gonna get people that's gonna hate you. So no need to switching up.
I used to do things just to get people to pick on me because I thought that's picking on me that's leaving somebody else alone, and I got broad shoulders and didn't give a darn.
But you're tough, you got to be tough to be different or be tough to make a change. You have to be. You can't have this snowflake attitude where, oh my God, you offended me with your words. Fuck you.
My grandmother pounded it into my head day after day after day. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. So
And it's
words
true.
never affected me. It was like they're just words, and they're somebody else's words. The only words that matter is my own.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
gosh, Mama Mona, it's gone to the extreme where, back in the day when we were growing up, even if words hurt you, heck, you took it to the hands. Now they ready to
Yeah.
take your life. Now
Now
they
they're trying to shoot you.
they'll without a shadow of a doubt, they'll just take
Yep.
your life in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
In
and this is the
Jersey,
thing. They never think about getting caught,
nope.
and they never think about spending the rest of their life in jail. And I can't understand that for one reason. I can't
Nope.
understand it.
Do you guys
I
remember the movie Sleeper, where they had
no.
all these people, and if they got a phone call that said, we have got far to go before we sleep, that person would go out and commit a mass murder because they'd been hypnotized with
Oh,
a thing. And I'm sitting here going, and Wendy and I was talking about that the other night. You remember the shooting where the girl was gay or whatever, and
well, the trans one.
for no reason, she went in and took an AK and shot up a school. I
Yeah.
wonder, was she a sleeper? Was she somebody who was sitting online getting hypnotized and indoctrinized, and somebody sent her a code, and she just automatically picked up and went and did it? How many of those do you think we got here from China?
No.
I
No,
don't know
you know
about
what
that, but that
what
story
I
went away
heard
real quick.
what
I'll
I
tell you
heard
that.
what I heard was she was on like 7 different type of medications, and there were like 3 of the medications that they had her on triggered something in her ass.
Yeah, it
So
makes me wonder. Hollywood has predicted a lot of things, and we just happen to think about that movie, The Sleeper. And how many indoctrinated people who have this little thing in their head is coming across the southern border, and all of a sudden a news flash comes out, and they turn zombie.
Well, they go
On
nuts or
just
something.
go off. You
Yeah.
know, is it possible? Yeah, it
yeah,
is
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Listen, I've been watching a lot of stuff, and like Mona, I know we're into a little bit different stuff, me and Mona, and like, but I still am receptive, and I'll still listen to and hear people out because it's not a crazy idea anymore. These conspiracies that were conspiracies 20, 30 years ago are actually real. The conspiracy theorists have been locked up in loony bins and arrested and all this shit. They don't get any retribution. They don't get their life back. They don't get their money back for their jobs that they lost, but they got punished for being a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, what they were saying was actually going on, and the government was lying to us.
Yeah.
But we should be mad about this. It wasn't for our security. It wasn't for our safety. It was for their personal gain, our government's personal gain, to hide this information from us. Like the aluminum sulfates or whatever they're putting into the air with these chemtrails. They're real. They're real.
Oh yeah, very
They're
real.
really seed clouding or cloud seeding or whatever the fuck it's called. They're seeding the air, and they're also using direct energy weapons to create an atmosphere above farms in the Midwest and things like that. So like, it's not conspiracies. These things are really happening. So is it crazy to think that like some of these other things that people are saying is real? And if it is real, then we're in fucking trouble, man. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Like,
Well, look what we're just finding out about UFOs.
I know. And now there's news reports. Oh, yeah, aliens are landing. People saw them. Now the people disappeared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just don't look this way. Look that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it makes
It,
me wonder with this Trump indictment. Okay, they've got every news station is got nothing but that on the news stations. Okay,
Yeah,
period.
yeah. But see,
What
this
is
is
it
what
that
I.
they're doing? What is it that they're doing that they don't want you to look at?
mm-hmm.
But Mama Mona, this is the thing. They got people watching that shit.
Yeah,
They got people watching it and still feeding into it. And
yeah,
see, that's what I can't. That's what I can't understand with the American psyche. If if a person is human like we are, and even if they're Democrat and they see Joe Biden on stage, their brain knows they see a decrepit old man because they got them in their family.
Yeah.
And then when they watch their news, and their news is like, oh, Joe's got the pep in his step, and he's ready for the toy. He's ready to do the 4 and maybe
Fantasy.
6 more
He's so
years.
articulate. Yeah.
And
So
and and
honest.
and his people don't, and their followers don't buck on them. That's what I'm talking about, American people. You people that sit there and watch The View and know that what they're saying is just hysterical, but
It's
yet
comedy to me.
y'all click back on the next day and their viewership just goes up. Where is your brain? What are y'all standing for?
Well, people like to watch stupidity. You know,
Yeah,
these videos. These videos. I remember the one where the kid strapped a whole bunch of fireworks to his bare body and set him lit him, and I'm like, you're going, and wondered why he got burned. You know, you're like, wait a minute, where is? I think it's the fluoride.
Yeah.
Jersey, it's the fluoride in the water. They've been
Yep.
adding it to the water since the 50s. They dumbed down actual human brain DNA with poisons, and so you've got people who have no cognitive thinking. They
Yep.
just don't. And you wonder where has all the brain cells gone.
Nobody wants to think for themselves. Everything got easier. They put a smartphone in our hands, and instead of going to the library, you just Google what the fuck is this thing, or how do you YouTube this thing, or you know what I'm saying? So now you only really direct yourself in the direction that you feel like going in. You're not being pushed in any other directions anymore, like you used to have free roam of I want to experience a different thing, so I'm going to look into that and this and that. So now you go to look into that, and you find an ad for something else, and you get distracted by that. Now you're looking at that ad, and then that reminds you of something else, and now you're completely off that first subject you were thinking about, because they're leading us and they're directing us in certain ways to where we're not expanding our minds. We're not trying to think for ourselves. We're just sitting here spinning our wheels, watching fucking YouTube and shopping on Amazon, and how to help the kid with the homework. It's not how to help the kid with the homework. The kid goes on Chat GP or whatever the hell it's called. He goes, how do you solve this equation? And the computer tells him how to solve the equation. He writes it down on his homework, and he didn't fucking learn a thing. He didn't learn anything.
No,
That's what's going on.
It's like Mrs. G was in the Walmart the other day. Excuse that name, but she was, and she was double bagging her groceries because she was putting 2 gallons. She was putting a gallon of milk, double bagging it, put a gallon of milk and a big thing of juice in a double bag. The lady came over and told her, says, you can't double bag. You're wasting our bags. You need to take half of that out of that bag and put it in another bag. And she's going,
What?
so, yeah. She says, so.
You're using the same amount of bags then.
Oh, but no, you're not wasting bags if you only put one item in one bag, one item in another instead of putting 2 in another bag.
Right there. And then that person at Walmart gets this big head because they're in charge of the fucking bags. What is going on, man?
I mean, in my world,
I tell them I don't want no more bags.
2 bags, double bags.
We don't have
put
bags.
One item in the bag.
No bags.
They'll put your hamburger meat in one bag, your chicken in another bag. I'm like, dude, just put all the meat in one bag. Put all the meat.
I'm walking out of the store like this, holding shit, because we don't have fucking bags. We have to buy bags at the store, which are made from recycled plastic bags. So now you're paying for the fucking bag that you used to get for free. Right. And then every time you go to ShopRite or whatever these food stores, you forget the bag at home because it's not like you actually remember to bring the bags with you back from your house into the car. Because honestly, because we're human, we're like, we get caught up with shit after putting the groceries away. And we're like, that's it. I'm done. I hate going shopping. I hate putting the groceries away. Now I got to cook fucking dinner. I'm not putting the bags in the car too. So now they go under the sink or something and you forget about it. And then you go to the ShopRite again and you're like, fuck, I forgot the bags. Then you got to spend 10 cents again on the bag. It's like
I did a video the other day. I was in Walmart, man, and they got 29 aisles in Walmart. why they had one
Yeah.
aisle open, and the aisle was backed up about 13, 14 people.
Oh shit.
No, they got about 5 or 6 blue vests. You know how
Yeah.
you can see them walking up front, back and forth
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm like, y'all ain't busy because y'all standing here in front of me. You know, they walking
Yeah.
around like they lost. They
Yeah.
don't know
Like
what to
zombies.
do. And I'm like, wait a minute. You can't tell me you got a different job because your ass is walking around up there
Yep.
in that big up there. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all aren't even thinking about opening up another register. And now people are getting pissed off going to check out their own food. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, I'd be damn. I'm not
I'm
getting a
not checking my
discount
shit
to
out.
do your job.
I don't
Ah,
do that no
they
more.
had
I don't
all
do.
these checkout lines at Walmart the other day, these self checkout lines, and the
Yeah.
line for the one lane that had a human being checking the food was 15
Yeah.
carts long.
I'd rather do that. I'd rather sit in that line because I'm not
I
checking
did.
myself out. I don't get paid to work at Walmart or shop or these places. I'm not doing self checkout.
You're
They
gonna
don't. They don't
offer
pay
me
me.
you're gonna offer me a 5% discount on
Thank
my
you.
total purchase if I check
Thank you.
myself out?
Yeah,
You
because
mean
there's a
you
markup
mean
on the food for the
no,
labor,
no,
and
you
there's
mean
no
to tell
labor.
me I got a cart full of grocery. Now I can understand the express lane. You know, you got your milk, eggs, bread. Boom. I can go check that crap out myself.
Yeah,
But dude, when I'm doing $258 worth of
a full
grocery
cart.
shopping,
Yeah,
come on, man. And I'm using maybe an EBT, something that somebody got to come down
and
and
verify.
scan.
And then
And then I got my medical.
you,
And then they
you
got
need the
to
human anyway.
they gotta call somebody. And then Lord know where this person coming from. And
I'll be right back
you
home.
Yeah, and
you
you gotta check out. You gotta check out yourself, and then you got some cop or guard at the door wanting to make sure you didn't steal anything.
now this is my thing. Why are you even wanting to look at my? Are you gonna count everything, old man? I mean, I don't mean but
That's
I'm like,
okay.
they put the senior citizens up there, and he will literally stop you with a full cart and say, "I need to see your receipt." And I want to tell him, dude, are you gonna go through everything, make sure I didn't steal one thing? Why you even want to look at my receipt?
Yeah,
Why you what do you what are you looking for? You see, I just came from the register. You watch me, and you
yeah,
still gonna say, "Let me see." Are you going to look at everything in my cart? I got 500 items.
yeah,
It's crazy the things that I don't know. I don't know. Things like that are made for if you're walking out with a television, if you're walking out with some electrical or trying. Dude, I got a cart full of groceries. There ain't no way I'm stealing all these groceries and they're already bagged up.
yeah. But you're gonna make me self check myself out so that you can accuse me of not checking everything out when I go out the damn door by making me show you my receipt. Okay, I'm like, if you want to know whether I paid for everything in this cart, you should have checked me out yourself at the register. I shouldn't have had to scan nothing. That's your job. It's ridiculous, and it's the little things. It's like
They're
uh,
dumbing down the generation.
that yeah.
Whew.
I mean, it used to be, we were talking about what do you think was the number one downfall of America?
Joe Biden.
The kitchen table.
Uh,
Yeah,
We
yeah.
quit. We started TV dinners, TV trays, sitting in front of the boob tube watching a show rather than sitting at the table, passing the
mhm.
salt, passing the potatoes, and talking about our day. No, if we do sit at the table, everybody's like this. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
I
that's
was in
right.
a restaurant the other day, and here's this group of people in the restaurant, right? You can tell that they are family, and they're sitting around to have a family dinner, and everybody's on their damn phone.
Uh huh.
Mama Mona, was you watching me and my family at the? We was at Chili's last night, and there was about 6 of us, and we all had our phones out on the table.
Uh huh.
I I'm an advocate for the phone does not belong at the table. Take your
You
phone,
don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
shut it off, put it in the other room because that's family time.
Yeah.
That's time to talk. I mean, I remember growing up, I had 9 cousins that I lived with, okay? And it was go, we all helped with the evening meal. Everybody helped. You set the table, or you're serving the gravy, and you're cutting up and making salad. And then we all came together at the table and we sat down together. We used to say grace at the table, and everybody talked with one another. How was your day? What did you experience in school today? Whatever. We had intellectual conversation around the dining room table. And
You
I
learned
think
about your
when
parents. You learned about your siblings. You learned at the table.
the knowledge that I got sitting at the table with my great grandfather, his wisdom
Yeah.
was something that it was a great thing because we learned from our elders and we listened. Now the elders are telling you about the Great Depression, and all you're doing is playing a game on your telephone and paying no attention whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you're getting stupid. You're not, we used to pass that knowledge from the elders to the youngers.
Yeah.
We used to have what we call picking parties
Uh-huh.
every evening. We didn't have, the television only had 3 channels, and somebody had to sacrifice and go out and stand and turn the antenna, okay, and hold the antenna. So we didn't watch TV at night. It
Yeah.
was we all went out on the porch. Grandma would be snapping beans. Us kids would be shaking jars of cream to make the butter for the next day and beat to the music. My parents played music, and you get the mandolin, the guitar going. Y'all sit there and sing and tell jokes and stories, and it was camaraderie. It was togetherness. Honey, you can't get 2 people to sit in a room and have a conversation today.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, Mama Mona. Want to welcome Mike Engel, Tanya Toffelson, Lori Rockinson, Jonathan Garcia, people, Patriots, whoever you consider yourselves to be. I just dropped the link. It's on the group page and on the main profile. So if you want to join the conversation, got 3 more slots available. Come let us know how your Saturday's doing. I got Jersey J and Bug Hustler. That's Mama Mona.
You know what? I got to get rid of this today. It's got to go.
What
It,
You
are you
shaving
gonna
your
cut
head?
it or wash?
oh, I
You
got to
gonna
get.
wash the gray out?
I,
Which
now,
one?
no, I got to get rid of it. Last 2 nights, I have woke up and my hair is so wet from sweat that I'm wringing it out in the morning, and I'm like, oh heck to the no. So sometime today, I'm gonna get out my clippers, and I'm gonna be uh, bald.
Mohawk. Mohawk. Got to do a mohawk.
You think I
Mohawk
need to do it?
Mona.
Huh? I thought about
No,
shaving
no, you
all of
got.
this.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
take it like
I
this.
love your haircut, Ray. That's
You
the
gotta take it
haircut
like
I
this.
want.
Hey,
That's
you
it.
can't make no mistakes. Can't. That's a
It's
guarantee cut right there.
that's a
Somebody
warrior cut.
somebody asked me, said, well, why do you do that? I said, well, think about the money I save. I don't buy shampoo. I don't buy conditioner. I don't have to run the electric bill up with a hair dryer or a curling iron. Okay. I don't need a mirror to see how my hair is sitting. Okay. I don't have to have a mirror. I don't have to have hairspray. I don't have to have barrettes or scrunchies. I save a lot of money by shaving my head.
Mama Mona, I had asked Jersey. Um, I was talking about the convoy in Hagerstown, and I was telling him that might have been a little premature. I think we need something like that and something of that magnitude take place now. And I think you might have close to 1 million Americans that are willing to come out and support the cause now that everybody sees what's going on. But my question is, where is it? Why? It's like the ones who initiated something like that. It's like, why wouldn't they come back for a second bite at the apple?
Yeah.
Um, I
And
haven't
the thing
heard of.
is remember it was the Canadian truckers that got everybody fired up.
Right, right. But now that, I mean, so I mean that initially showed us how to do it, and how to organize and to do something like that. But now that we're really in the heat of the moment with all of this information that's out there, see, I tell people, I don't care what the mainstream media says. The mainstream media is doing what they're supposed to be doing, pushing the propaganda that they're supposed to be pushing. I don't knock them for that. But the American people, I would dare say, are smarter than the media, mainstream media, gives them credit for.
Well, that's why
And
mainstream media viewership has gone through the floor
yeah,
because
so
people are watching this kind of content rather than the boob tube content. Okay. And if we can get more people doing real content rather than a lot of BS and funny stuff and get serious. People don't get serious anymore because serious means if you get serious, you have to step up and do something. It's
People want to
easier
see
to
drama,
ignore it.
bro.
Huh?
People,
one.
people only want to see drama. We've been proving it for the last year. That's all people watch is drama.
Drama, 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 drama. Yeah. And the thing is it's nonsensical drama. It's drama
Yeah,
that does no accomplishes nothing
yeah.
at the end of the day.
Inner fighting. That's all it caused was inner fighting. Everybody wanted to be number one. It was stupid. So I bailed out of that shit. I'm ready to get back in the fight. So when everybody's ready to put the gear on and go down to DC, let me know.
Well,
Well,
I'm hoping that during my event here in Branson, we
mhm.
can rally the troops once again like we had in Hagerstown. Okay? It would be so great if we could come together and actually come together and then leave Branson and be a million strong and pull out of Branson and head right to DC. Okay? That would be wonderful. You got to get people to come together first. And I have discovered that if you get them to come together and have some fun, they have a lot of people that spend on money, well, you get to come and with no political expectations. And now you got a captive audience in a 20,000 seat theater with live streamers. And you finally get together and you all say, enough is enough. We're done. Let's roll. Okay. And come from every corner of the country and do it again. But they're scared. J6 scared the Patriots.
Yeah.
It
But see,
frightened them.
but you know what? This time is different, Mona, because you have to be ready to lock up. I, you know, if the
It's
American
the
people
future,
did what
man.
they were supposed to do, they would have to lock up 100 million Americans.
You know what?
And
If we'd have done what Glenn Beck told us to do after the Tea Party rally, we had 2005 million, 2.5 million people on the streets of DC for the Tea Party rally. And Glenn Beck told everybody on the big screens, he says, now go to the limits of DC and sit down. Nothing coming in, nothing going out, but you wouldn't actually be in DC.
right,
Okay. Like the 295,
yeah,
if all 2.5 million people hadn't got on their buses, went back to their airplanes and their cars and just drove away, if they'd have went to the damn to the city limits of DC and just blocked it down, nobody goes in and nobody comes out, no supplies go in, and cut that damn District of Columbia off. It's not an American country, and close it down.
right.
But they didn't. They went over there and they had lip service. And by the time they all got there, they had all these different agendas. The original agenda was to go in and fire all of them and set them all for treason, for trial. That was the original agenda of the Tea Party Patriot movement. It was huge. I worked for months on that. And then when you get there, it's all about race. It's all about medical care. It's all about this. It's all about Obamacare or whatever, instead of being about taking our country back. And it was supposed to be about taking our country back. Walk in with the pink slips and say, damn it, you're fired. Get the hell out of my building.
And
Okay?
that's what I don't understand about the representatives that are supposed to represent us. Why aren't they making a? I understand what Comer's doing, but that's on a different level. Where are our local leaders that are supposed to be representing the millions of voices
The sheriffs. The
that are
sheriffs got to
outraged?
do it.
You know, they could stop government if every one of the Republicans and those who sway conservative was to just have the blue flu. Just not show up. You can't conduct government if they just don't show up. Not a matter of showing
And
up,
the
it's a
Democrats do
matter of
that.
staying away.
The
And that's the
Democrats do
same.
that when it's
That's
time
the
to vote.
same thing I was trying to. That's the same thing I was trying to put on this transgender sports thing. If if you're a person, if there's a transgender person that is wanting to compete in your sport, like Leah Thomas, and she wants to swim, well, guess what? The rest of y'all women step back off of that diving platform and let her stroke all the way by herself. You got to make a stand. Don't sit back and you and your parents keep coming on week after week talking about this person's getting up there swimming. Y'all
Listen,
take a stand together
I got
and
an idea.
step back.
You got you got women's sports, you got men's sports, right? Make it
Make
transgender
transgender sport.
sports. Make it transgender
But but
sport.
but before they get to that point, the women that are being infiltrated on, they have to make a stand. If there's a basketball team that comes out and they have a transgender, you don't want to play against them, don't come out the locker room. If
Yeah,
you
don't
don't
play.
They
stand for
did that.
something,
They did that at the Dodgers baseball game the other day when they
wow,
brought out them transgender nuns or invited them or whatever,
what
and
happened?
nobody showed up. The stadium was empty. Nancy Pelosi threw out the first pitch in a empty stadium. No one
Good.
showed up for the game.
Good.
Wow. In
Fuck
Los
Pelosi.
Angeles?
Yeah, it's kind of like the beer. Ain't nobody buying Bud Light. Ain't
Nope.
nobody shopping at Target. Nobody's eating Chick-fil-A.
America,
Cancel them. Cancel them.
that's it. That's it.
Cancel. They
That's
want
it.
to cancel our shit. Cancel them.
Yeah, you can
That's
go
right.
back and watch the footage. I
Fuck
seen
that.
it with Nancy Pelosi supposed to be throwing out the first pitch, and you look
Yeah.
in the stadium and it's empty.
Wow.
People are finally realizing that they have the power if they just say no.
That's right.
Okay. Now that's dealing with corporations. We're looking for a different type of power when it comes to dealing with our government people. We need a different type of you gotta put some boost in your backbone,
But
because dealing with the government is totally different than dealing with corporations, woke
yeah, but
ass corporations.
corporations control your elected officials
Yeah,
Yeah.
by
you're
their
right.
money.
And
You're
And
vice
right.
versa.
and when you take $5 billion from Target in 1 week, it gets noticed.
Oh yeah. The
Okay.
shareholders are mad. The shareholders of Target should be pissed off. because it's affecting their business, their money. And when it comes down to it, Target's a business. It's supposed to be a profit.
Yeah.
The guy from Shark Tank, what the hell's his name? The dickhead one. He just did something on the other night on the news. Was it last night or the night before? He did something. He even expressed. He's like, the people of Target fucked up. He's like, what you have to ask yourself, what is it for? Because a business is supposed to make money. So if you're destroying your business by putting a certain product or promoting a certain thing, then the people that are running the company aren't working for money now. Now they're working for an agenda.
Yeah.
So
They are.
like
They are.
Mark, that guy. No, not Mark. Damn it, I can't remember. Anyway,
Because even if they do these ads, they're still only targeting a small percentage
Our
of
our
the
Target here in
country.
Branson's going totally under.
Yep.
Since that came out, nobody's shopping at Target. Nobody. They quit. But I live in an extremely conservative city. So when that came out, okay, Chick-fil-A used to have lines.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nobody. I drove by there at lunchtime the other day, and there was nobody in the drive-thru. Yep. Nobody, because we stood up and said, no, not in our town, not here.
Yep.
And we're fighting it locally, okay? Like the drag queen show. I mean, we had a packed house at city council meeting for the last 2 council meetings saying, you are not bringing drag queen shows to Branson.
Yeah.
You know, and then the drag queen said, well, we need to have a gay pride parade or a great gay pride march. And I told the leader of the group, I says, you need to check with the chief of police and find out what happens when you try to pull this BS in Branson. Ask them what happened with Black Lives Matter showed up. They were met with 40 or 50 people carrying loaded weapons. And they got real upset when I told them, I said, just remember, Missouri is a constitutional carry state, and we have castle law. He says, are you threatening us? I says, no, I'm warning you. You're not going to pull that stuff here. You want to pull that stuff, you go someplace else. Because here, you go try marching down 76 Country Boulevard as a drag parade. Honey, there's going to be dead bodies all over the damn street. Because these people don't play games. And the cops told the Black Lives Matter people to stay on their side of the street. They had a permit. Right. And your permit ends at 5 p.m. And one guy was going to walk across the street to confront the Patriots. And the cop got in front of him and told him, says, hey, look, you notice all of those weapons over there are loaded. And these people over here don't play games. Now, I'm
not taking your side.
Get back on your side of the street, because you come across, they're going to kill you all and let God sort you out. You're playing with the wrong kind of people here. Now, I need that kind of people all over the United States to stand up and say, enough is a damn enough.
No.
We're going to use our constitutional right to carry, and we're going to swear castle law. And the United States is my castle.
See, New Jersey's not like that at all. New Jersey's the opposite of Missouri. If you look at your gun in your own house, you get arrested. Dude, I'm saying, man, like this state is horrible for that. The only people that have guns in this state are cops and military.
The criminals. And criminals.
Hey, you know, there's a law.
Criminals have more guns than the cops. But
there's a law in the state of Arkansas.
Well, you say the criminals outgun the cops.
The law requires that every household have a gun.
Yeah.
In Arkansas. Okay, unless you are unable to carry a weapon due to whatever. But by law, your home is supposed to be armed in the state of Arkansas. Okay?
That's nice.
Because that's your militia.
Well, the Second Amendment was written when every home in this country, if you had a military age son or husband or anything like that. You were supposed to have a military grade weapon in case you were to be recruited to
Yeah.
fight for
People
tyranny.
don't
Against
people
tyranny.
for some reason, I don't know why people don't stop and think why we have the Second Amendment in the first place.
They don't
Our
understand it.
founding fathers put the Second Amendment in there because he knew, they knew, that there is a possibility that one day government would have the opportunity or the, you know,
To try to
the appetite to
take
try and
power
take
over the
over.
people.
Yeah.
Second
Yeah.
Amendment wasn't put here for us to protect ourselves against foreign invaders.
No, it
Yeah.
was
No,
for us
that's
to
what we
do
got
our
a
duty.
military for.
It was for us to do our duty. The
Yeah.
Constitution tells, or the Declaration of Independence tells us that when your government, it doesn't say if your government, it says when your government becomes tyrannical, it is your
Your
duty
duty.
to throw them off and set a new government.
Yeah.
That's our duty.
Yeah.
It
People get
wasn't
scared
a
to talk like
request.
that
It wasn't
though.
like, well, when your government becomes tyrannical, you hem haul and you don't do anything. And
Yeah.
it doesn't say that. It says it's your duty.
Yeah. To fight.
Yes,
To fight. If you enjoy your freedom, you have to be willing to die for it. That's what
yes.
I feel.
They were
Because
asking kids on the
my
street.
son's not. I'm not going to let my son grow up in a world where he can't wear a T-shirt like this, or
Yeah,
he can't get online and say I don't like what Joe Biden's doing, or he gets arrested, or his social credit goes down, or whatever the fuck goes on 20 years from now, because things are going to be a lot different 20 years from now,
Hey,
guaranteed.
Jersey, like I told you, when I swore the oath, as many men did before,
All of us, I think we
and,
did.
you
all of
know,
us did.
we
Yeah.
All
swore
of us.
to protect foreign and domestic. I never knew why the hell domestic was ever in. I never knew. I never put it together.
Yeah,
I always thought, okay, fight them abroad,
yeah.
foreign
They're never
and
going to come here
domestic,
again.
foreign
Oh
Everybody
and
forget.
yeah.
domestic.
How about this? How about everyone thinks the Revolutionary War was like the last time we had to fight people for this shit. But the War of 1812 continued that. For like
Yeah.
3 years, we had to fight against Britain again. And
Yeah.
everyone forgets about the War of 1812, but we had to do it twice. Nobody fucking remembers that. But if they won the War of 1812, we'd be redcoats.
Under
We'd be all
British
just,
rule right now.
we'd be doing British rule right now. So, and it came from Canada because they were up in Canada and they were funding the Indians and the Native Americans down here in the Midwest, and they were
Hmm.
giving them weapons. They were helping them out to fight the Americans to not expand west. So
Hmm.
like if that's nobody fucking remembers any of this stuff. But if we do our history and we look into stuff like
You want
J6 wasn't the first time that the
to think
American
that?
people have overwhelmed
You think we
DC.
should really study
Right.
history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have to. We have to because
We
that's how
got to know our
it repeats
history so we
itself.
don't repeat it.
That's
Thank you.
right.
Because like
And
look into it. The Capitol building has been overwhelmed with millions of people several times, and it only happens when the people are like, "This is enough."
It's like World War II. When World War One, rather, when World War One ended, they just didn't pay the veterans. They didn't give them
Yes,
their pensions, and
and
they
they all,
marched on Washington. And I'll
yep,
be damned
yeah,
if Patton didn't
Patton was there.
fire on American World War One vets, and
Yep,
they burnt their whole village down.
they burned it down. I saw that whole story, and they sat there for months.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Well, people, if you don't think they're
Well,
not coming for our guns, I came across an interview with Barack Obama back when he was president, and he was sitting down with a reporter, and he literally, and I didn't understand what Australia went through,
ready?
um, with not having a Second Amendment and not having their firearms. And he was telling the reporter that the United States should take up the blueprint of Australia. Um, Basically, how they surrendered their guns
Hmm.
and and what happened to them. And then I was looking at Trudeau up in Canada, and I was watching 12 years ago when he implemented the first, um, let's say, um, idea of let's get rid of this portion of our Second Amendment, or let's tweak this portion of our Second Amendment. And then
Mhm.
3 years later, he took another step into the firearms,
Mhm.
and let's do this with hunting rifles. And then, and now, to make a long story short, they have no Second Amendment. He systematically got
Broken down.
them to, because like I tell people, if you wait until their last move in what they're trying to do, it's going to be too late.
Yep.
It's
They'll,
too late.
they'll never do it in America because there are machine shops across the entire country right now just milling up guns, and they're just
Well,
stocking up.
you
They're,
got
you
the
can't take them
cardinal.
away from us. Can't.
You got the cardinal who is a mouthpiece for the Pope,
Yeah.
now coming out telling the Catholic Church, lay down, voluntarily lay down your arms. Voluntarily. So now he's focused. How many Catholics do we have out there? So now he's trying to
Why is the church
implement,
concerned about guns?
it's a faith thing.
Yeah.
He's infiltrating the minds of the church now.
The craziest part, dude, is that everyone's saying get rid of guns has a security team with guns protecting them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're
But once
absolutely
again,
right, man.
Jersey, the
Yep.
American people aren't. If the American people are sitting by registering this, I can't tell.
Nah, they're
They're not
not.
saying nothing. They're not saying
No.
nothing.
Everyone, see, nobody, like, I'm in a suburban area right now. None of these people give a shit what's going on in the country. They got kids they're taking care of. They got to pay the landscaper. They got to go shopping. They're going work. They get home. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about anything that's going on out in Ukraine. They don't care about what's going on in our government because it's always worked itself out. If they got to wear a mask for a little while, they'll do it. These are the kind of people, they're submissive. They're controlled very easily because they're so involved with their own lives that they don't care about what's going on. It's
Right.
working. It's working. And the only time they're going to get pissed off is when these grocery shelves get empty because they're burning down all of our crops and fields and farms and production plants.
And
They're
contaminating the ground so it won't grow.
yeah,
Getting rid of the fertilizer so you can't grow.
they're putting our gas prices up to $5 a gallon, so it puts a hurting on you for a little while. Then they lower it, so you like the government because they lowered the price of gas, but they're the ones who fucking hired it in the first place. You
It
can
still
like or
ain't been,
hate
it
Trump,
still ain't
but
been
you're
down to
a
a
fucking
dollar
$2
$1.87.
You
It
know,
was a
you're
$1.87 when Biden took office.
yeah,
That's right. That's right.
and then it went to $5 a gallon almost when we were down in Hagerstown.
Yeah,
And
So
now they're all happy because it's down to $3.19.
yeah, drop it
this
two
is
dollars. Like, where's all this extra money going? Because the barrels coming in, they have contracts with these oil fields where they're getting it at certain prices. Okay, so they have total control of the import and export to this country. So when money gets involved, and these big executives of these big oil companies are like, you know what, we got to watch out because solar's getting big. So let's make a big reserve of oil, and then we'll jack the prices up to compete with the solar. So we got to make it affordable still for people to buy, but we don't want people to go buy the solar shit. And the solar companies need the oil to make the
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 solar
the,
panels.
the solar panels. So it's like the oil companies are like this huge conglomerate thing that just controls every aspect of our lives because all the plastics we use, all like medicines, like petroleum jelly, like Vaseline, like things like that. That's all made from this oil. So like they control everything, these oil companies. If they want to stop us, all they have to do is jack prices up to $7 a gallon. Half the people in the country couldn't drive their cars. You wouldn't have traffic. You'd have less accidents. People would be driving way less on the roads because
Oh yeah,
instead of using that
you're
useless
supposed
trip
to live in
you got to see.
a city, a 15-minute city, so that you never have to drive. You can walk to every place,
Mhm.
and you have to stay within your little city. And
Right.
again, that reminds me of Hollywood, where they put the dome over the city,
Yeah.
and people
Yeah.
couldn't leave.
Well, they're doing that out in the Middle East. They're making that wall, the wall city, where literally everything would be in walking distance.
Yeah.
And it's just one straight wall. That to me is a giant cage for a city. Like that's one of those movies where like, yo, we got to get outside the wall. And they don't let you out, you know? Like, oh, you don't need to go out there. You got everything you need right here. Be happy, don't ask questions. Conform. That's what that's going to turn into in my head. Like, no, 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 no. I want the opportunity to be able to fucking run in any direction and go anywhere I want, whenever the fuck I want, because that's the country I live in. So when they start telling you you can't go somewhere, you can't do this, you can't do that, I'm doing the opposite. You're not telling me what to fucking do anymore. I sat there and I played your game for a couple years. I didn't have surgeries, medical procedures done because they wanted me to get a PCR test. I will not fucking get a PCR test. I won't get a test done. I won't get the V word. I'm not wearing a thing on my face. I'm not doing nothing. I didn't participate for the last 2.5 years. I don't fucking plan on doing it now.
I didn't participate. So
Nope.
Hey, Mama Mona, Jersey J, let me hit this last topic before we've been going on an hour and 20 minutes. That's a
I
good
know. I
one.
was about to say I gotta go soon.
This is a thing I want to tell people, patriots, whoever you consider yourself to be. How can you vote for any Republican that says they stand for America and stand for the Constitution when they are idly sitting by watching a man being persecuted, watching a man's constitutional rights being stripped away from him, watching a man being falsely accused?
all for political
And,
purposes.
and these are the people that say they're going to govern on justice. Well, you know, justice begins with standing beside someone who's being done wrong rather than being an opportunist. They all don't have a problem coming out campaign mode,
The,
campaign style,
the articles of
telling you.
impeachment have been filed, and they're just sitting there.
But you know who they're
They're
filed
not being
by?
acted on.
You know who they're filed by? They're filed by patriots. They're filed by people like Marjorie Green Taylor and others. They're filed by patriots. They're not filed by the majority of the Republican House that is supposed to be representing us. And like I said,
The minute those impeachments got filed, they needed to be brought to the floor for a vote and let it go. Let it happen. Let it the chips fall where they may.
It's all a show, Mona.
but
It's all
this
a
is
show.
my thing.
When I was in New York, that's all it was a big fucking show. Listen, Trump
That's
he
it.
wanted the media there to show what the media does is basically hype it all up. Hype it all up. I sat there for 24 fucking hours on the
I know.
street.
I watched you.
And I talked to all the media guys. I watched them all talk to each other. They're all friends. They all have the same equipment, the same script, the same shit. I listened to
Yeah,
everything they
they
said.
do. They
I
do.
planted myself right in the middle because I wanted to know, like, how the fuck do you guys operate to where this all happens, like choreographed, and like
Well,
Trump.
now
He,
it's coming out that that audio by Hollywood was put to the J6 footage because 90% of the J6 footage is done by video satellite, which is visual only with
Mhm.
no audio. So now they have the original with no audio from the satellite cameras, and they play the duplicated video with audio with people screaming and everything,
Yeah,
adding theatrics to it.
yeah.
It's America.
Wake up.
Listen, come on, man. I hate
It's
to
not
say that,
always sleep.
but
It's not.
come on.
We're preaching to the choir here.
I
I know.
know,
I
I
know.
know.
We're preaching to
That's
the
why I
choir.
want to say something I
How do
really
we
want to say.
how do we get this type of content out where we can get people who are wearing their blinders or got their heads stuck in the sand? How do we get them to listen to this type of content versus the made up
Mama Mona,
propaganda
Mama
content.
Mona. They
Drama.
gotta want to. They gotta want to. They gotta want. At the end of the day, God gives us free will. They gotta
Yep.
want to. For
They
some
have to
reason,
look
they
for it.
rather.
They have to
You
search for this.
Yeah.
maybe they can't. They maybe it's something that's above them, and I'm
Yeah, they
starting to
don't.
understand that about
You
people.
know what? The
It's
reality is,
that's like a checkers player not even wanting to play a game of chess with a chess
I was
player.
taught in
It's
school
above
to do
them.
research. Today, you don't do research. You go Google, blah, 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 blah. And you
uh,
let some AI do the research. You
yeah.
don't do your own research.
I
Okay.
I've been talking to a lot of people who are interested in my lifestyle and what I've been doing for the last 2 years. And what I found was, even like I mean, I've been having conversations with like people completely on the left, conservatives, Republicans, Dems, everybody. And the main thing is everybody's pissed. The conservative liberal side is like, listen, there's problems and we got to do something about it. I'm like, okay, this is what you do. You congregate because you have the right to petition for your grievances. All right, so you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to get together. You're allowed to assemble and peacefully assemble. You don't have to be violent and destroy things to get your point across. You can have a force so big, just population wise of people. You can have a force that big, and you could be aggressive enough looking that would show that you are serious about this. Like, so you have to show that you're willing to put your life on the line for your children and your children's future, because it's not about us anymore. We're getting to our expiration date. We've got 20, 30, 40 years left. And by that time, we have to fix this, because if the kids are taking over right now, if it were up to my 14-year-old son, he would make everything virtual reality. We would sit at our house and we would fucking shop, eat everything from our house. We wouldn't have to leave. Everything gets delivered. That would be what my son in his generation would be thinking of right now. So
Yeah.
we have to make it to where we socially interact. We have to talk about things, because everyone I'm talking to is like, we want to change it. I'm like, then you all have to come together and stop fighting about one thing you don't agree on. I don't
I mean,
care who calls themselves what. It doesn't matter if you call yourself a cat. If you want to pick up a gun and have my six, cool. Call yourself a cat. But don't make me call you a cat. I'm going to call you John. I'm going to call you Jen, whatever the fuck the name is. But I'm not going to call you a cat. I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to start focusing on what really matters and stop focusing on all these little side distractions that people are trying to fucking force in our face.
and Jay, you know, and I know they're not going to do that as
Oh,
long as they're comfortable.
scared.
When they can't get their medications, because
Yeah,
they just did away with Johnson and Johnson. So if you got any medications that are made and produced by Johnson and Johnson, you can't get them. They're not.
Moderna's. Watch
when
what happens in
Yeah,
Moderna.
when the grocery store shelves, when you go to buy groceries and there is none, and you're uncomfortable and your belly's growling and your kids are crying because they're hungry, your child with the seizures is having multiple seizures because they can't get any medication, and
Yeah,
you got to watch your child flop in the floor. Only then will people pull their head out of the damn sand.
yeah,
I hate to say it,
yeah.
but I know in
People gotta
my heart
die,
of
man.
hearts
It's the sad
that's
truth.
what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, people
You
have to
know,
suffer and they have to die in order
and
for
I'm
this
one
to
of these
change.
people. I went and I got a library of books that will help me through anything.
Yep.
Okay, and go back to the 1800s. Okay, and I'm sorry, but I do pray every night that Mother Nature and our beautiful sun up there sends an EMP around the world that knocks out electrical power worldwide permanently. Send us all back into the 1800s.
Yeah, I'm
And
down.
the thing is all those people who weren't listening will starve to death, die in fights over food and things, and they'll all be gone.
Yeah.
And the ones who's going to still be here to pick up the pieces and bring back the country are those of us who had foresight to see, okay, I got to have food, I got to have water, I got to have shelter, I have to have knowledge. The number
Yeah.
one element for survival is knowledge.
I'm
Okay.
in a lean-to right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
I mean, that's, but you got to have knowledge. Well,
Yeah.
you can't retain all that knowledge. And I was telling Ray the other day on his live, you got to get a library. You need herbal medicine. You need organic gardening. You need the old ways book. You need, because you cannot store all of that in your head.
Nope.
Okay. And so therefore you got to have a means. And I'm gonna tell you what, when all power goes out and you can no longer, yes, and you can no longer Google, okay, and you can't get information, you better have a means of having that information stored so that you can find it. I mean,
Right.
if you want to know how to make a tincture of dandelion or poke to take care of your pains and aches, you ain't got that in your head. I don't even have all of that in my head. And I got a lot up here.
Oh
But
yeah.
I got a book. I can open up my book and I can figure out how to make a food that'll last, have 2,000 calories in a 1-inch block and feed me. And I can make that now, and I've got it stored. I've got the ingredients for it stored. Also.
Pemicin or hardtack.
Yep. I know. But people don't. And when you can't, and that's the number one thing that's going to bring this country down is the lack of nutrition.
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
Yep.
Good morning, Tommy Temper. Tommy Temper's in the building. What's up, brother? Hope you're having a good day.
Tommy
Yeah,
Temper.
hello, Tommy.
That mother flower's dealing with those fires, man. He's dealing with those fires up there in Canada. But listen,
and that's something else. All those fires just blowed up, according to
I'm gonna get going.
according to the video. They blowed up all at
We're gonna
once.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we had fun today. I appreciate you. Love you guys. We'll see each other soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
have a good day, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
All right.
God bless
Love
America.
y'all.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today for another episode. Peace and love. We are out from the lab.